What is up, guys? Rick Cacus here, and today we have the complete guide for the Draw Exotic Quest, which rewards the Last Word Exotic Hand Cannon. This video will showcase not only exactly how to get this weapon, but also provide a bunch of tips along the way to make your journey as easy as possible. And so, let's get started. To begin everything off, you're just going to have to go into the tower and talk to the Drifter. He will give you the first item to begin this entire quest line. And that first item is called the Cleansing. It has 3 different objectives: Hive defeated with solar damage, Hive tablets collected, and Hive bosses defeated. You can do all 3 of these at the exact same time if you go to Mars and start doing some escalation protocols. Especially the first few rounds, there's going to be tons of Hive running around. Now, if you are having trouble getting into an area of the map that isn't, wave 5 or beyond, and it's kind of getting tedious, you can also, still on Mars, go to the Braytech area and go into that lost sector. By yourself, you're going to have plenty of Hive to kill, and then you can simply run out of that lost sector, run back in, and all the enemies will respawn. So unlimited Hive to kill. In terms of killing stuff with solar damage, something like the Sunshot Exotic Hand Cannon is fantastic. That's what I used. Obviously change your subclass to whatever the solar version of the class you're running. And frankly, while you're working on Hive defeated with solar damage, you're also going to be collecting the tablets at the same time. You'll probably collect tablets before you get to solar damage, but roughly they'll be completed about the same time. And then for bosses defeated, well, you can go with the Lost Sector boss, like I talked about, or you can always do those escalation protocol bosses at the end of the waves. Again, all 3 of these can be done at relatively the same time. Now, once you're done all 3 objectives, your quest step is going to update. You're going to have to go back to the Drifter and talk to him, and he's going to update your quest yet again and give you a new item, the Temptation. This time you only have 1 objective, and that's Guardians defeated. You have to kill Guardians in the Crucible, and every time you die, it's going to set you back some progress. Now, it's around 60 kills to get to 100%, and when you die, it's going to reset you about 1%. So that means, and some tips for completing this, is that you can actually play a little bit more aggressively than you think. I played a game, it was like a 44 kill game. I went up from 29-ish% to 96%, and I had around a 3.0 KD. I was playing quite aggressively, and I was really going for kills. So that is a huge chunk of this done in one game, which I was still dying a relatively decent amount in. So don't think you have to hold back at the very end of the map with a scout rifle and just pick guys off, because dying is super detrimental. Dying is detrimental, and of course you want to avoid it, but I would recommend, pulse rifle, even a shotgun, whatever you can use to get as much kills as possible, and if you die a few times, whatever. Now, after you're done hopefully slaying out in the Crucible, your quest step is going to update yet again and turn into the Damnation, with the new step being Hive Ritual Stopped. There's actually going to be a brand new quest that's going to appear on Titan, so head there and start that quest. It's going to bring you into a lost sector, and this lost sector is going to be a little bit harder than normal, and once you've killed a bunch of guys and eventually killed a very middle boss that's going to have an invincibility shield that only goes down when you've killed all of the appropriate enemies you're targeting. So you kill a bunch of wizards, his shield goes down, you do as much damage as possible, it goes back up, you have to kill more wizards. We've kind of seen that in Destiny a few times. In any event, once you're done that, your quest step is going to update yet again. So it's going to prompt you to go back to the tower and talk to the Drifter. Once you do, he's going to give you another quest step, and this one is probably going to be where people spend the largest length of time doing this quest. There is 4 different objectives: Etched Crystals collected, Crucible medals earned, Hive larvae collected, and heroic Hive rituals completed. So for the Etched Crystals, you have to kill Lost Sector bosses. For the Crucible medals, it has to specifically be Best Served Cold medals or Blood for Blood medals. And for the Hive larvae, you get precision shots and they have a chance to spawn. And then for the heroic Hive rituals, those are the Summoner's rituals. Only 2 can spawn, one on Mars, on the bottom part, Glacial Drift Mars, and the other in Titan. So again, it's your biggest time sink. Now, in terms of which ones I would do first, well, if you want to knock out Crucible right away, that's what I did. I would recommend doing Mayhem. Mayhem is live right now. If you're watching this guide in the future, it won't necessarily be, but Mayhem, because you're getting your super so much, and just because so many people are dying, you have a way better chance to get those 2 medals you're going for. To get those 2 medals, Best Served Cold and Blood for Blood, you either have to kill enemies who killed you or killed your allies. So again, everyone's dying. A lot of kills you get are just going to randomly give you these medals because it's a pretty good chance the guy just blade barraged, your teammate, and then you can just kill him, right? That kind of thing is going to happen all the time in Mayhem. If not, of course, normal quick play will be fine. It just might take you a little bit longer. You may want to adapt the playstyle of playing quite aggressively, because if you hang in the back and you never die, you're never going to get any medals. If you run forward, you're getting kills, you're getting killed, then you're going to respawn and have a much better chance to kill the guy who killed you and, of course, get these medals. And if you're playing very aggressively, it's likely your allies are involved and dying around you and so on. Now, for the Hive larvae collected, I would definitely recommend going to the Braytech Observatory on Mars and doing that Lost Sector, because the escalation protocol is a little bit hectic and it can be hard to line up headshots, but with the Lost Sector, it's a little bit slower paced, much easier to line up those headshots. By the way, quick tip, if any time in Destiny you're doing headshot kills, try to use a scout rifle like you're seeing me do, where it doesn't one-hit kill to the body. If you're using a powerful hand cannon, it's a one-hit kill headshot, yeah, that's what you want, but it's also a one-hit kill body shot. So if you miss or an enemy is turning or whatever, you've just wasted that enemy. Whereas with a scout rifle like this, if I get a body shot, it won't kill the enemy, I can readjust, get that headshot, and still potentially trigger this quest step. In any event, while you're doing that Lost Sector, of course, you can kill the Lost Sector boss at the end, but it's very unlikely you're going to kill that guy 15 times before you're done with Hive Larvae. You're going to be done with Hive Larvae at around, honestly, 4 or 5 Edge Crystals collected if you are killing that end boss. At this point, to get the rest, I would highly recommend going to Trossland and going into the same Lost Sector you see us go into. It's basically the one on the left of the church where Devram hangs out, and you can just run in here, kill the boss super quickly, run out and run back in. Of course, it's going to respawn the boss, and it's a really short distance between running out and triggering that map load and running back in and fighting the boss. Like, it'll take you no time at all. Now, for the Hive rituals completed, because these spawn rather sparingly, you absolutely want to do the reload trick, where you go in, you activate Heroic, which, if anyone doesn't know, you simply have to stand on one of the plates. That lowers the wizard shield, and once you do the left plate, kill the left wizard, then do the right plate, kill the right wizard, or kill them both at the same time if you have multiple people. Then there's going to be crystals that spawn above those wizards. Same thing, they're going to have shields, you have to lower them with the right and left plates. When you kill those 2 crystals, then it becomes Heroic, just in case anyone doesn't know. Now, once you do that and you've killed the boss, as soon as you kill the boss, you don't have to open the chest, or it doesn't even have to pop up and say complete. As soon as you kill that boss, it's going to count as 1 out of 3. Quickly open your map and reload into the same area you're in, because if you do it fast enough, there's a pretty good chance that the Heroic event will still be going on in another instance, and you can hit up that same Heroic event potentially 2, maybe even 3 times in one spawn. And that's going to make this quest step go a lot quicker. And you can see us do it in the background. In fact, a lot of people think you have to do that solo, but if you're with a party and they all reload at the same time, so you go 3, 2, 1, everyone travel at the same time, as you can see here, it can still reload the instance. So keep that in mind when you're doing this. Now, once you are done completing all 4 of these quest steps, it's going to update. You have to talk to the Drifter, and he's going to give you the final big quest step, which is the Conversation. You have to defeat Enkar? I'm not even going to bother. So this guy is going to be in the Tangled Shore. In fact, when you look at the Tangled Shore, you're going to see one of the blue world quests pop up. This is what you want to go for. You're going to have to travel for quite a while in order to get it, but of course it's going to lead you there. Starting this quest, of course, is going to put you in your own instance, and you have to make your way through what is basically the Corrupted Strike until you get to the bridge near the end of that Corrupted Strike. But here's the thing. Most of it is just killing enemies. You have to get past a barrier or 2 by killing a blood ogre for one of them. It's pretty self-explanatory, you're just killing stuff. Something you should definitely keep in mind while doing this, however, is that you are not going to regen your health, because there's a modifier where you actually have to pick up the wells of light dropped by enemies that you kill in order to regen health. So try to avoid that sticky situation where you have no health and there's no enemies nearby. You might have to play a little bit more aggressively to be getting those wells of light and healing yourself. But this very end part, the last word is actually going to spawn, and you see the boss you're trying to kill. You're going to have to stand in a certain area, it readies, and once it's 100%, you can pick up the last word and draw it, and you have to shoot the gun out of this guy's hand, as you can see in the background gameplay. Now here's the thing, you only have a split second to do this, otherwise he's going to shoot you and you instantly die. Now of course killing just one guy is pretty easy, you can basically pre-aim at his gun, but then there's 2 guys and at the finale there is 3 guys. So how do you complete this? Because I think a lot of people are going to take quite a while to do so. Well, a huge tip that we discovered was that you are actually able to tell who is going to shoot first, which, especially on console where it's a little harder to aim, if you're trying to aim in between the 2 people, you'll often just die. But here's how you tell. In the very first encounter, you can see the actual big boss guy is going to have like a more yellow big health box akin to an actual boss. Then when you look at when 2 of them spawns, one is going to have that big health bar, and actually a 3rd chunk is going to be removed from when you show him the first time, and the other guy is just going to be like a yellow bar knight. It's going to be a much smaller health box, and he won't have any damage taken out of him. Basically, you have a fake version of the boss, like a projection of the boss, and then the actual boss. Here's the key. The actual boss will always shoot last. He has to trigger moving to the next zone. He has an animation, so he is always going to shoot last. So if you're fighting the 2 guys, you look for which one has the health bar, the big one with a chunk out of it, and you know, okay, this guy's gonna fire second, pre-aim at the first guy's gun, get it every time, move over to the second guy, get that guy. Of course, when there's 3 guys, you can tell who's gonna fire last, but then of course you're gonna have 2 different guys that could fire first in between one of them. It's either going to be luck, like just try pre-aiming one of them, or aim in between them and try your best. You can see when I did do it, it was pretty fast. But yeah, that should be a huge tip for helping you guys. You can tell who's going to fire last. Oh, and by the way, do not summon the last word and shoot the guns out of his hand until you've killed all the ads. It's actually going to give you the option to start standing on the plate and start steadying and so on when there's still ads around, but it's just not worth it. It takes a while to steady, and so that cursed thrall that you thought was pretty far behind is going to catch up to you. So kill all the ads and then do the steady and draw stuff. But once you've killed all 3 guys at the very end with the last word, you are going to get the last word outright. It just gives it to you. Now, actually, technically the quest isn't over yet, but you can stop at this point. You've gotten the last word. You can use it as much as you want. Going back to the Drifter, which will conclude the quest, is just going to give you a little bit of information about the lore of this weapon. So there you have it. That is start to finish how to get the last word. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. And if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.